Hello and welcome, everyone. We have another top producer webinar for you, Mastering Your CRM Expert Live Coaching Session. Today with myself, Glenn. I am part of our Resolution Tier 2 and onboarding team, though I seem to do more onboarding, so I'm enjoying that. And then the incomparable and irreplaceable Heather, who is one of our best onboarding specialists, and she is also here today with us. And go ahead, say hi, Heather.
Oh, you're so kind, Glenn. Thank you.
I only speak the
Um,
truth.
can't really do this webinar without Glenn here because he is going to be hands-on showing you how the system works. Thanks for joining us. What we really like to do here is this is all about you. We will be covering a lot of top producer. However, if you have any questions, this is your chance to ask them now and we can do some little demos and show you how that goes. Otherwise, we kind of start right off with the settings. By now, you might have already signed in with your username and password and got past the settings. However, we'll quickly kind of go over those. And if you are stuck in anywhere in the settings, please let us know. We can help you with that. And then we'll go over some fun stuff, some fun features, and make sure you get the best use of your CRM. So again, don't forget, this is about you. This is your time. So ask any questions, please, and go from there. What do you think, Glenn?
I think that's a good plan, and I'm oddly not seeing video today, Heather. So if you do need me to pay attention, say
Okay,
my name because for
awesome.
some reason the computer's just decided to make me look silly today. I
Oh
love it
no.
when that happens.
Well, and I can see you fine. So,
Well, that's
um,
good. You can see me making faces of why is this not doing it right? But for any of you who are here with us today, Heather and I absolutely love to have feedback and engagement from you. So in the screen here for Zoom, there is a chat option. So let us know what's on your mind. Like I say, we'd love to hear from you. And one of us will answer your questions over in the chat. And often we can actually answer it here in the webinar itself. That way, if you have a question that we haven't gone over or it's something that you really are curious about, let us know and we will take care of you.
perfect. Thank you. So if you've already signed up with Top Producer, you should have received your username and password already. And that would have been sent to your email address. And you're going to sign in for the first time. You're going to go to crm.topproducer.com. And if you haven't got this far, please let us know if you need any help along the way, and we will be glad to help you. So, oh, also, we do have, just so you know, we do have a one-on-one concierge onboarding. If that's something that you're interested in, kind of gets more of a personal touch and even more help getting set up with your CRM and any other top producer products that you have. We also have our support at topproducer.com, tons of videos available for you. It's a very user-friendly. If you have any, like if you can't find something, you're bound to find it there. We also have our email support at topproducer.com and our live chat in the bottom right corner. So for any quick questions, like if you just need a question right away and you're not joining us today on our webinar, we have our live chat and we are real people in the chat. So please come join us. That is 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, we're real people in the chat. So we don't bite. Please come talk to us and we'll help you out.
Yeah,
So
no
let's
bidding, don't worry.
so let's sign in for the first time. So you're going to go to crm.topproducer.com. And this is going to bring you into your, well, usually when you sign in first, if you haven't got past this part first, it will mention the subscriber agreement. So there is a 1-year term on the CRM, on Top Producer CRM. Once you get past that, it will ask you to add a contact. Usually what we suggest is to add yourself as like a test contact. So you can kind of go in there, send yourself an email and just kind of see what it looks like on the back end. And or any other contacts that you're currently working with. It's great to add them in your contact list as well. And then you want to get to your settings, fill that out the best you can. So that way you can really get the best of your CRM. So we're going to show you where the settings are. There's 2 different settings you can either get to in the very bottom left corner. There, yeah, the very bottom left corner as Glenn's showing you, and the very top right corner where your photo is going to be. You can get to the settings both ways. And once you go to settings, I suggest kind of starting at the top and working your way down. Couple things I'm going to mention about the settings, which I think is very important. So in the My Information tab, anything you put in here will get put onto your marketing. So if you have Market Snapshot, this information will go on there. So you want to make sure that when you're filling in the address, it is your not your personal address. It's your broker's address, the office you work in. If you do work from home, we suggest just putting in a city and leaving out your street address. Also, another really important part about the My Information is your location, your time zone. Making sure that the time zone is correct is very important because anything you add to your calendar, any tasks, it's going to go based on the time that you have in your time zone. So you don't want to either be too early or too late for a meeting. So make sure that this time zone under My Information is set up correctly. And I can see the smile on your face, Glenn. Like, yep, this is an important one. And you could always also go back here anytime to edit this. So if you don't get your headshot in right away, just take your time. Make sure everything is here is how you want it to look for your business.
The reason I was smirking about the time zone, Heather and I are both here up here in Canada. I'm on the West Coast, so Pacific time, and since I'm the one who usually runs this account, I set up for mine, but she's on the East Coast, so she's 3 hours ahead of us, or me. So that means we have the time separated here. So being part of the new revolution of the world where you do have remote people working, making sure that the time zone for the main person is set properly is going to be key. Because if I were to set something this stuff up on Heather's time zone and I was the main agent, if I set a meeting for 9 a.m., it would actually be 6 a.m. my time. And I like to still be in bed sleeping at 6 a.m. So I don't know about others. I kind of like my sleep. So
I was up walking my dogs at 6 a.m. this morning. I don't know about you.
my dog was curled up right beside me. She was all enjoying sleeping too. So yeah, so that's one of those key things, especially like I say, in the new mobile world, make sure you have the main time zone set. That's the only reason I had that smirk on my face, Heather, because I'm sitting there thinking, oh yeah, I set this thing up on my time zone, but you're back east.
Very important. All right. So we also have a new feature here, which is really handy, notifications. And if you're like me and your life is crazy hectic right now, because mine is crazy hectic, you want to go to notifications and make sure you remind yourself. This could be of any new leads coming into your system. It can be task reminders as well. So this, I know, for example, like when I'm marking things on my calendar, I always put reminders on there. So this is your notification to be reminded of an appointment coming up, a phone call you need to make, anything, any to-do tasks. This is great. You can get a text to remind you that this needs to be done. Just not a text for a text, but this is just, you also have the option to send it to your email and your phone. You can do both or one or the other. It's totally up to you. So you definitely go ahead and use this notification. I think it's pretty cool. Calendar sync, you can only add the one calendar per account. So you want to make sure it is the calendar that you are currently using. If you're using a Gmail calendar, an Outlook, anything that you have puppy paws, whatever email is in here that you want to connect with your calendar, go ahead, follow the steps, just like what Glenn is showing here. Also, I haven't mentioned yet, if we do go too fast and you need us to slow down, please say something in the chat. We will definitely, and I have no problem going over that again. Start sync. Yes, absolutely. So you want to make sure that you sync your calendar so that way anything that you add to Top Producer will then also go into your calendar if you use that on your phone. So we have contact sync and import contacts. Now, I always like to swap these two because you should always import before you do your contact sync. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a bunch of duplicates and it could take a long time to clean that up. You don't even have to do either of these. You can add contacts manually one by one. So you're going to do what works best for you. If you have been a realtor for a long time and you have a ton of contacts already saved on a CSV file, this might be best for you to come in here and import your contacts. It's pretty simple to follow the mapping stages. And again, if you are having a tough time with this, please let us know. We'll help you out with that. Email integration, email signature, these are important keys. So email integration, we might need to reauthorize that.
Yeah, so this is
It's a
something,
fake email.
yeah, well, it is a fake email, but this is something I like to bring to attention. If you do integrate your email first and then go back later and integrate your calendar, you may have a little bit of a separation here. You might get this needs reauthorization. Only worry if it stays like that for 24 hours. If it does for some reason, just delete it here. Give it a second here to delete, and then I'm going to just put it back in. gmail.com. And that way it resets. It's just because of the fact that we're getting the authorization for everything. Sometimes it gets a little bit hiccupy there. So we'll get things all organized and working properly with that. So there we go. It'll go back to initializing and then running.
And that's exactly what it should say is running. So just note when you are putting an email in here in the email integration, this is the email that when you send an email to your customers, this is the email you want them to see. You can add multiple emails, but just remember that one email is going to be your default email. So if you end up sending to, if you have auto emails that get sent out, or if you want to send a group email, you can only have one default email.
Good. Heather,
Now,
you've got a question?
absolutely.
That actually relates to contact sync.
Okay.
So Joe, I'm sorry, I'm not even going to try to say your last name because I'm afraid of saying it wrong. Says when I put contacts in my CRM, it automatically puts them into my iPhone. Is that normal? If you have the contact sync set up already, there will be a button that says automatically sync new contacts. Now, let me just I'm going to really quickly sync this so that we can show you that. So I can just show you that button. Fortunately, this is a email address that I created just for this test account, because we also created the fake company of Puppy Paws because both Heather and I have dogs. So right here, automatically add new contacts to sync. If it's over like this, then that means any new contacts you put in will start showing up on your connected email. If you turn it off, that would stop. If you are doing a synchronization, I highly recommend keeping that on, mainly because it does allow you to have a backup. And I always do like to say there's two types of people in this world, those who have a backup and those who really wish they did. So I'm just going to disconnect this for now, but that's what it would come up and look like. Does that help? I hope it does.
Perfect. Hopefully that does help. And if you're happy with your contacts in there, I was just saying about emailing. So email integration, this is again, you can add several emails. Oh, and then you're back to needs authorization.
Well, it's fixing itself up in the background. I have faith that it's going to come back and say running within the next half hour to an hour.
Absolutely. So for email integration, again, when you set this up, just take note. So for example, this is a Gmail account. This will not go through Top Producer server. It will still go through the Gmail server, which is a great thing because when you send from here, you're still going to have that other copy of the email in your Gmail as well. But the bonus from sending from here is that you do have the option to, now, did you stop sharing?
Your
computer
technical woes were annoying me. So yes, I stopped sharing. I'm sorry, Heather.
No, not a problem. So the great thing is always that when you send from here, it's also going to be in your Gmail account. But one of the benefits from sending from here is that you can set up those like automated emails to be sent out, but we also have a read receipt. So only when you send from Top Producer will it show if your customer read the email or not.
Okay, so
we have more questions.
Yeah, I like it, but it doesn't just go into my email, but also my iPhone. So here's the thing, your iPhone, your contacts in your iPhone, it depends if you're using the iCloud connection, it would go that way. Now, if you also have a secondary setup where your contact sync is, say, syncing to a Gmail or an Outlook, but then has a backdoor to synchronize with sorry, my brain just stopped there. Let me try that again. If it has a backdoor that synchronizes with your iCloud contacts, it will do that for you. So there's a couple of ways. If you have it set up, well, if you're doing it directly iPhone to Top Producer, if you have that turned on, it goes to your iCloud account. I'm using Google as a different type of route to go. So if you have it differently like that. However, if this is not something you've set up, we would want to actually, honestly, recommend that you give our chat team a shot. Have them take a look at it with you and figure out why it's doing that. And if they can't take care of it, we'll get a senior tech to reach out to you to get this fixed up. If you haven't set it up to do a contact sync directly to your iPhone, it shouldn't be going over there unless there is a background synchronization between iCloud and something else. That's the only reason I use that as a example.
Absolutely. Thanks, Glenn.
Yep.
He is our tech guy, so awesome. Also important one to set up is your email signature. So when you're sending out emails, you want to make sure that your signature line is going out with those emails that you're sending. So people know who it's coming from, as well as you can have your website links on there, maybe some of your social media links on there to contact you further. And some of you may already be past all this stage. So we just kind of quickly run through the settings just to make sure everyone's set up here.
All right, so continuation of, I don't use iCloud, but Google Contacts. Like I was saying, if your Google account is connected to your iPhone in a way that it connects to your iCloud contacts, that's the only reason it would show up on your phone. So I get what you're saying. There is a connection in the background. Double check that. But yeah, if you are still running into problems, please reach out to our support team. We'll do everything we can to help you out.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Heather, I was
No,
stepping on you.
not a problem. We have lead providers as well. So this is kind of goes along with notifications, but lead providers here. So if you actually have any other leads that you have coming directly into your CRM, for example, realtor.com or iHomeFinder, you can use this email address. Mind you, yours is going to be your first name dot last name at myleads.io. This is just an example of what it's going to look like. You're going to copy this and put it into your leads website. So in the background where it says where you want your leads forwarded to. Again, if you need help setting that up, you can come to our chat, ask us if you have any questions about that, and we can step you through that as well. And that is also something we help in our concierge, just get you set up with that, as well as your lead alert settings here. This is, sorry, I don't know if you can see my scribbling on here. Was I?
Yes, it's coming through.
I get so used to using the annotation. Okay. So if you haven't already set up your notifications, this is another place you can set that up to get reminded about any leads coming in, as well as your notifications for your tasks.
Yeah. And yeah, Heather and I, both being part of the onboarding team, we do a lot of the annotations when we're helping people, because it does make it easier to point out where they're going. So I saw her pointing to me that we want to go to Market Snapshot next. So there I go, Heather.
Awesome. Thank you. So Market Snapshot. Now, this is a great one, and we will cover this a little bit later, but you do want to make sure that everything is turned on. Even for the buyers, you still want to show them the solds, and we will explain the reason why. So just make sure you go into your Market Snapshot settings and make sure everything's turned on, especially the one at the very bottom, the auto fulfillment. So any leads that you do have coming directly into your CRM is going to get an automated Market Snapshot sent to them. So once you've made that change, you're going to scroll down and hit the save in the bottom right corner.
Yeah, and Heather, I need to make a one of those announcements. If you do see a pink error message showing up on the bottom of my account here, please know this is because I use this for a testing account, and I beat this account up a lot. I do a lot of adding and removing of contacts, synchronizations and stuff just for texting. So it's probably one of these days, Heather and I, we need to retire this account and start a new one so that I don't use the same one for testing that I do for webinars, so you don't get that bad experience. So I apologize. That's 100% on me. So if you keep seeing a pink message there, ignore it. It's just because I like to break things.
The nature of your job.
Yes. And plus the nature of my personality. I like to break things.
Awesome. All right. So we have MLS credentials. Make sure to add those in order to send the market snapshots. You need to have this set up. So you're just going to click on add MLS credentials in the top. When that comes up, there's a drop down in the MLS board. Make sure you start typing your MLS board because there's thousands in here and you could be scrolling for a really long time. So just start typing your board in and that will populate for you. And your username, it's usually numbers. Sometimes you might have some initials in there. If they are, try it lowercase. Usually it's in uppercase. If you're still having troubles, give us send us a chat and let us know and we can help you get that sorted out.
I would recommend try Sorry to contradict you here, Heather. I would recommend doing it in all uppercase. We do get a roster from the MLSs, and they seem to have done it in all uppercase for us. It just, a lot of times that just solves the issue right there. Sorry, Heather.
Not a problem. All right. Team management. So if you are a part of a team, this is where you're going to come to add your additional agents. If you're not, then you don't need to worry about this. But if you are thinking about adding people under you, then let us know. We can get you set up with a team account. Texting. Now, if you want to set up for texting, you do need to register for your phone number through the FCC. Now, a new law in the States that came out about a year ago through the FCC, you do need to register your phone number. This could take it could take a week, it could take several weeks. Unfortunately, we don't have a time right now, but when you do register, it will go to them and then you'll get notified when it's ready to use.
Yeah. This is one thing. If you are curious, you can always reach out to us and we can look. Unfortunately, because of the massive amount of people doing this, because this did not just affect Top Producer, but it affected every software and company that does any type of texting. So if you think about it, there's probably about 150 million people in the US that could be eligible for something like this. That's a lot of people. And this was a very quick decision with a very quick turnaround time to get it done. We're doing our best to get it as fast as possible. We do appreciate your patience, but we are actively working on it and looking for ways to get it faster. But we'll get it there for you. No problem.
Absolutely. Thank you. And the last two here, we have UI settings, which is user interface settings. Here you can just change some colors of the types, which we'll show you in a little bit as well once we go over some types, as well as you can change any default dates. So this isn't something you really need to worry about right away just for setting up. You can always go back to this once you feel a little bit more comfortable using your CRM. And then Zillow Connect is if you are a Zillow Premier agent, then you can connect with your Zillow and bring your contacts over into here as well. All right, so let's go over the fun stuff. after we answer a couple questions here.
Well, it was
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks. So I meant to send that to everyone. So I was asking if your name on the account here in the webinar chat, if that's the name for your account, I'll have it looked at later. We do have a way to see and maybe see if we can find where it's at right now. Most likely it's going to come back and tell us that the carrier is reviewing it right now, which again, because of the massive amount of people that are doing this, they're overloaded too. But as long as the name's the same, I will take a look and see what we can do and give you a confirm answer to that. Okay, perfect.
Thank you. So we're going to kind of jump in here now and actually show you the CRM. And one of our favorites is following up with your contacts. That's one of the main reasons. I mean, you got your CRM, you want to stay organized, but one of the main things is actually keeping on top of your contacts, keeping in touch with them. Because if you did help them buy a house, you want to be the same agent that helps them sell their house years down the road and or become a referral. So lots of different reasons why you should reach out to your contacts, stay in touch with them. And we're going to show you some different ways on how to easily follow up with them. So we've got a few suggestions for you, and we're going to show you some demos for that. Awesome. So actually, yeah, let's start with the homepage because this is also a new, recently new tab here, the homepage. When you sign in now, it's going to automatically bring you to the homepage, which you will see here, the follow-up coach at the top. One of my favorite things about the homepage as well is that you kind of see everything within the CRM on this page. So it's just like a really quick, easy access. But even better is that you can edit it. So at the very top, you can edit the layout, which you can put whatever is most important to you at the top and rearrange the homepage how you see fit. Because again, everyone works differently. So customize it to what works best for you. So with that being said, we're going to kind of quickly show you the follow-up coach. This is great if you're busy on the go, you're not really sure who to reach out to. Even if you have like maybe a quiet month and you're like, okay, well, I need to reach out to some people, just not sure who. The follow-up coach is always going to give you people to follow up with. So you'll also see this little skip button here. And Glenn and I highly suggest don't hit the skip button because then you're just putting people like at the back of the line. And if they're not important and they're going to the back of the line, they probably shouldn't be in your CRM. So you want to follow up with everyone, whether it is a quick text, a phone call, an email to say hello. You can follow up however, like whatever best fits you. And when you do follow up, make sure to make your notes in the wrap up because then you can schedule another follow up after that. And Glenn is so great at quickly showing us how easy it is to follow up.
Yep. And one thing I'm going to say is there is a built-in way that if you have somebody that you're not going to be doing any marketing to for a bit, the follow-up coach is great. You're going to see their name, and please keep in mind all of these names are fake. I did a fake database just in here because of, privacy and all that. So nobody's name is real in here. But if you go to follow-up, you're going to see that it's going to come up with an unknown error, which is, again, because I beat on my account. Okay, and I'm concerned that there's a face there, so this may actually be a real person, so I need to just delete this person.
I don't know where they came from.
Yep, me neither. Okay, yeah, I've broken my account a little too much. Let me log out of this and go into one of my other test accounts.
How many test accounts do you have?
More than I want to admit, Heather. Okay, yeah, bear with me, technical issue here. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna have to stop sharing for a second. Heather, make some amazing information go out to everybody for a second, would you?
Absolutely. So we're going to continue showing this to you in a moment. However, there are multiple ways that you can follow up. So you do have the choice of using the follow-up coach. There's also just creating drip campaigns. We already have campaigns available for you to use and you can customize them. There's email templates, tons of email templates available for you to use that you can also customize as well. And you can add from scratch. So setting that up and sending out a drip campaign to multiple clients at a time, and you can have a drip campaign go for up to 6 months at a time. You also don't want to set it up so you kind of forget it. You want to make sure that you're keeping them with fresh, up-to-date information. We have another way to follow up, which I think is really neat. So if you're inside your top producer right now, under your contacts tab on the left-hand side, this is one of my favorite ones I think is really cool. You'll see a reminder. It says under each tab, so you have your status tabs across the top. You'll see all, new, engage, future, active, close. So you'll see these tabs, and right in the middle of it, below it, you'll see a reminder. So you can create how often you want to follow up with these contacts, which is great because you're going to want to keep in contacts with your active customers more frequently than you will people that are not ready to buy or sell right now. So you can choose how often you want to follow up with them and you will be reminded about that as well. How are we going, Glenn?
I think it's my computer.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've even tried a different browser and it's not allowing me to open up Top Producer right now. So there's one of those things as a computer tech I'm going to throw out there. You're going to every now and then run into some technical issues. Now we're going to do this a little bit differently without actually being able to do too much in the way of showcasing things. So you're going to hear how amazing Heather and I are at explaining and describing things.
And hopefully you're following along.
Yeah, I mean, if you're following along in your top producer, you'll be able to get these things. So one of the things with the follow-up coach I was going to say, when you click on follow up now, you do have the option to set somebody as a inactive or non-client. This will actually remove them from the list of people that you're going to be showcasing and putting in the information for. This way you can actually send the right information to the right people at the right time, and you won't have to worry about anything like that at all. They won't come up. And again, if you don't think there's somebody you should have in there, you can just delete them. Now, as you saw, I was trying to delete and it came up and it had this screen that said type in delete. That is there because of the fact that deletions in Top Producer are final. We do a complete and total delete just to make sure that nothing shows anymore and to make sure that your data is deleted. The reason for that is because it is personal information. With that in mind, make sure you are 100% sure you want to delete this person. Reason for that, it is, like I said, permanent. And in all my years as a computer tech, the one thing that makes me the most nervous trying to do is data recovery, because 9 times out of 10, it is not successful. So again, like I said before, 2 types of people in the world, those who have a backup and those who don't. Make sure you don't delete somebody unless you're 1000% sure.
Absolutely.
All right. And I'm going to still work on trying to get Top Producer working in the background. So impress us with your knowledge of everything Top Producer like.
All right, so another one of my absolute favorites, especially for following up, this is going to make it so easy. I think using your types is the most important thing to do to keeping organized. Keeping organized, and then it makes it that much easier to follow up. So adding types is very easy to do. You have, when you're adding your contact one by one, you have the option to create a type. So when you click on contact type and when you're adding your contact, there is a list that populates. Don't worry, you don't have to use just what's in that list. You can type in your own and you'll get an add button come up. So I highly suggest creating your own types. And the reason for this is because you all work in different areas. So, I mean, some of you work with retired, some people work with more of a senior community and the retired. Some people work mainly with sellers and or buyers. Those are your usual types. Maybe you live near the water and you have boat lovers, or you have dog lovers, or you have military families. These are all great ways to make types. Or some people, I've worked with some agents that they work in different states. So you can use the different states as a type. You can use absolutely anything. Open house, something that's going to have these people kind of jump out to you a bit. And so, for example, let's just say you go with dog lover, of course, because Glenn and I are dog lovers. Let's just say you have 50 contacts in there that are dog lovers, and there's a new pet store that opens in town. Yes, you can send your contacts marketing information all the time, but the point is following up with your contacts, is staying in touch with them. So just instead of the normal holidays and birthday greetings, you're going to send them market information, but reach out to them for other ways too. Make it fun. Give yourself new ideas. So a new pet store opens up in town and you can select your 50 dog lovers, and maybe you even have more than that. Just say, hey, just to give you a heads up about the new pet store that opened up in town. And again, that's putting your name and your face out there in front of your clients. So take advantage of these types and use them. And also by using them, it just makes it so easy to search. So if you're on your contacts page, under the type list, whatever type you are interested in clicking on, you can put your mouse right on that type and click, and it will group them together. So that's one reason why I think it's so cool. So if you group those 25 contacts together and you select all, you can select them all at the same time and send them an email all together. Another thing to do with that as well is creating your own tabs across the top. So this is going to be a little bit more tricky as we're not being able to share the screen at this time, but I will walk you through this if you haven't already done this. So at the very top of your screen, if you are on the contacts tab right now, the very top of your screen, you have tabs. You'll see a star at the top left, followed by, oh, look, we've got and you already put dog lovers in here. This is awesome. So this is look, I'm going to annotate here. This is the bar we're talking about right here, that you can actually create your own tabs. I love this because you can take these tabs, you can drag them left to right and put them in whatever order you want, but this is just like an easy search for you already done. So another suggestion is using your ABC list. That's what it's called, right? Your top leads or hot leads, I think they're called. Again, you can be creative and do what works for you. But we're just going to show you a really easy way on how to create these tabs. So up in your right-hand corner, you've got this little guy. Sorry, Glenn. I feel like I'm on a Zoom call and I'm just so used to annotation.
It's all good. Again, this is like I like to say, this is how you get the actual experience of how we do things. Heather and I are fun and sometimes chaotic. but we do the notifications there because we're helping you on your screen when you get the concierge. Kind of like you'd get almost like a webinar, but it's just one-on-one. So please use the annotations. I'm controlling the screen, annotate where you need. And like I said, it makes it easier for you to tell me where to go because you are the puppet master.
Awesome. Thank you. So right up beside your add contact in the right-hand side, this is where you get to create your tabs. So you can call your tab absolutely anything you want to, and then you can add multiple types to it. So if you have like 3 or 4 types that you want to group together under one tab, again, it's just a search already done for you. And it's always there when you go to log in. Heather's demo. Awesome. And if you could see, and there you go. And now we have 11 contacts under this tab. We can click and drag it and put it in any order. Now, if this is a tab that after you've used it and you're like, I no longer need this tab here and I kind of want to make some room, you can click on it, drag it up or down. It's going to turn red and let it go. Let your mouse go. Drop it. Like, drop it, Glenn.
Drop it like it's hot.
And delete that tab. And you're not deleting any of the contacts. You're just deleting the tab you created. Your contacts are still going to be in there under the all. So customization is great.
Yes, again, because of the fact that we do not just delete things. When you delete something like that, if you don't see a request to type the word delete in all capitals, it is not getting rid of any of your contacts or transactions or anything that is a valuable data point. If it's just a header, you can just drop it.
Absolutely. And now that we actually have the screen here, let's show them how they can add contacts types to multiple contacts at a time versus one.
Okay, this is perfect because we just got a question. Ashla says, how can I move contacts from other tabs? So let's see, I've got 500 people in future, and this here, we do a follow-up reminder. I'm going to just delete this because you'll notice this is something special we have. Follow-up reminders are something you can do to set up when to reach out to people. So I have it, say, if I go 6 days ago, you're going to see it's going to still tell me the one 7 days ago to follow up, but the rest are overdue. So I'm going to get rid of that again. But to answer your question, we have, let's say 25 people here who I don't want in future. I'd like them to be in my active. My brain just stopped. Heather, my brain just stopped.
That's okay.
Okay, so actually the best way to do this is we've got the 25. We would set them to active and then just click the next one and set to active. Oh, this one I wanted to set to inactive because I'm going to delete them. And you do it active. Now, that is not something, I almost had a mistake there. I almost didn't think this through properly. But now those people that I've done will be inactive. I'm going to remove all of them. You can't do that in a group, but if you were to want to put these 3, like I've got these 3 in active, I want to put them into another tab up here that I've created, like dog lovers. Well, these ones are dog parents, as I call them. I'm going to drop that. Let's say we wanted to create a new tab for Glenn's making it up as he goes. So I've made a new contact type for them. I'm going to add it, and then we make a new tab. Testing.
So at this time, once you create a tab, there's no way to go back and edit the tab. You would just have to delete it and recreate it. You can also not move multiple contacts into different tabs. You would have to do it individually. Now, just keep in mind, and any of your contacts that are in here, they are going to be under the all no matter what. So you might notice like, oh, hey, I have customer in the all. They're also under the testing and they're also under the engaged, which is correct. That's how it's going to be because we have new, engaged, future, active, and closed, which are your sales pipeline. It's the status that your customers are in. Now, some of you may or may not use statuses. So with that being said, if you don't want to use your statuses, you can easily take these, just your statuses. So I think there's 1, 2, 4, 5 of these on here. You can delete and you don't have to use. So if you prefer not to use your statuses and you're just going to search your contacts by types, you can take any of these tabs here, and
Sorry.
you can delete them.
Yeah. Now, I was this is how a technician's brain runs. I was actually trying to fix three things at once while trying to figure out why I was having troubles with the thing. Your main question, how can I move contacts from other tabs? We have contacts in future. We would prefer them to be in, say, engaged or active. You actually have to click on them and then choose the contact status you want them to be in. So like I was mentioning before, a way to keep people from your follow-up coach is to set them either inactive or non-client. Inactive is a great one for people who have moved away. Non-client is a good place to put, say, your fellow realtors or vendors that you work with. So that's how you would do that. And I've got a probably 45% functional top producer right at the moment, so some things may not click right. So thankfully, I'm hoping Heather and I are explaining this well. If not, please ask more questions and we'll try to explain it in a good way for you.
I'm also going to quickly go over the statuses and how we use them. Again, you are welcome to use it the way that best works for you. But when you first add a contact into the system, it by default automatically goes into the new. Now, as you're adding them, you can also put them into the right status. So if you're entering them manually, it's possible you could have maybe met this customer already. Maybe you met them at an open house. So you're already engaged with them. So you would already want to, while you're adding them, change them from the new to engaged. So how we use it is new would be for any contacts that usually come directly into your CRM and you've had zero communication with. So if you have anyone in the new, this should usually be empty, but if you have anyone in the new, you're like, okay, I need to reach out to these people right away. Engage are for contacts that you are currently communicating with right now, but you're not maybe sure where they stand, if they're a hot or a cold lead, but you are communicating, so you're engaged with them. And they're going to go to one or two of the statuses, either the future or the active. Future is where your contacts, most of your contacts may be at one given time, because futures for your contacts, they're like, yeah, I'm ready, but maybe not for another 6 months. Reach back out to me. They're just not ready to buy or sell right now, but they will be in the future. And then active means you're currently working with them. So you're either helping them get their place ready to list, or you're helping them or show them new listings. You are currently actively working with them. So again, it's just your sales pipeline, your statuses, and you have that option to use them or not. If you don't really use your statuses, you can remove them from this part of your CRM, from the main, I don't want to say toolbar.
Well, that's the tab list. So you could call it a toolbar.
Yes. And then that way it's not visual to you. And then you can add tabs that work better for you in your system. Like, exactly. Hopefully that helps explain that. Doggy lovers. As we explain doggies, I've got a puppy sleeping behind me, and it's been an interesting day so far. He had his needles yesterday, so yeah.
Oh, poor little puppy.
Yeah, and then he was outside chewing on grass all morning, so oh my gosh.
Great.
All right. So I think we've covered, did we go over how to add multiple types? No, we didn't. So let's quickly do that. So types, again, I stress using these because they are very important to keeping the most organized, I think. So let's just say you're like, okay, I know this person and this person here, they're all sellers. So you can click on multiple contacts at a time, and right up on here, exactly. Sorry, Glenn.
It's okay.
I feel like I'm in one of my one-on-ones. This is usually what I do. You can click on the tag here, and this is where you can add this type to multiple contacts at a time. You can add multiple contact types to multiple contacts at a time. So this just makes it one step easier versus going into your contacts one by one.
And you will notice that we do have some pre-created ones. So Heather was saying we should add these people as sellers. Well, we have a seller and currently listed. So I can choose seller and then just add it. And you're going to see right here, they're added right away.
And I'm just going to throw this in here because I'm not a fan of gray. And because you can see some color, this might get a little confusing. So I'm just going to quickly show you and let you know that any contact types that were either recently added by the system and or if you add your contact types yourself, by default, they're gray. And if you like color like myself, things that kind of pop and kind of grab your eyes towards that, you can easily come here and change the colors of your types. So what Glenn did is in your settings tab, at the very bottom where it said the UI was it UI settings?
UI settings, yeah.
Had a moment there. You're going to go to your UI settings and then you're going to click on add new color. And this is where you can select your type. So all those fun types that you just created, you can choose your own colors and you can also customize your colors if it's not in the list already. So you can really, yeah, and you might want to make it too dark because you won't be able to read it. So
Two things you don't want to do. I'm going to, as Heather said, don't make it too dark. Don't make it fluorescent.
Yeah,
because as we see, we've got a lot of white on the screen. If you have a very fluorescent colored contact type, yeah, it hurts. And I am actually saying that from experience. So please don't go through the pain of having your eyes burned for a bit because of a super bright color on a white screen. It does hurt.
All right. So we've gone through all the types and like, look how easy. Yeah, let's go back to that really quickly. Thank you. Like how much that changed by Glenn just adding those colors in. It just looks a little bit more, I don't know, inviting.
Yeah.
Oh, not so dull. So brighten
Yes.
it up a little bit and choose your favorite colors, like what works for you.
But again, keep in mind, not too dark and definitely not too bright.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So now let's go over some other fun features that you may or may not be familiar with. This is another one that I think is really cool, property insights. There's a few features that I think are cool. And, and again, it kind of all falls under the same category of keeping organized because this is your job. You're very busy. You are dealing with a lot of different people and the last thing you need is to be like, oh my gosh, where's this? Where's that? And I'm sure you guys have had those days. So let's try and put this together for you. Stay organized and make this easy to get to know your customers as well. So property insights, I think is really good. Now, take in mind, this is for yourself to stay organized. It's also only for buyers. So you're not going to use this for sellers. Property insights, any buyers that you're working with. When you're working with buyers, you're sometimes showing them multiple properties. It could be 10 properties. I always usually ask my customer, like when I'm on my Zoom calls, ask them, how do you usually keep track of the properties that you showed your customers? And most cases are a pile of paper somewhere, print offs, they have to go through it all. So I feel like this is so much easier. And the reason why is because you can go right to this customer and click on property insights and just see a list of all the properties you showed them. And with other cool features added to it. So we're going to quickly show you how easy this is to add. So if we go back in, let's just say you're going to your contact, and I would suggest if you're going to follow along and do this, go to a contact maybe that you're currently working with right now. And this could be for property insights, could be properties that they're interested in seeing, properties that you suggested that maybe you sent to your customer and said, hey, you might want to see this, and or properties that you've already showed them. So we're going to go pick a customer, a fake customer. And we're going to click on property insights. And we're just going to pick a few insights to add and show you how easy it is. So you can add it by address. And once you're typing it in, the address will populate, just like Glenn's showing you.
Okay, and there you go. You can see that this is one, and hey, this is great for looking at, this is the dog lovers. So having a yard like that, I know my dog would love it. So we would put, this is shown. And then we're going to save that.
Awesome. Let's go add another one just for a little bit more clarity. And Joe, we will definitely show you a market snapshot shortly after this. I think it's actually right after this, which is going to be great for sellers as well as buyers. So we're gonna go add one more address. I don't know if you're doing this by MLS ID.
What I'm trying to do, I just got to find that MLS ID.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
really,
let's just do this one by address. I'm gonna do something weird here.
okay.
So I'm gonna put that in, and then I'm going to just, you see, I'm copying the MLS ID from here. I'm gonna go back, add insight, choose MLS ID, and then search. It's the exact same property. So
Mhm.
therefore, if you have either the address of the property or the MLS ID for the property, you can get it and find it very quickly. And one of the parts that I know Heather absolutely loves, and I'm going to step on her toes here and explain it first. One of the very cool features is, let's say that we showed this house to a client and they absolutely loved it and they've made an offer. You can set made offer and then save it. And now you can turn this into a transaction without having to do anything else. You just click the add transaction button, put
Love it.
all the information in, and there you go. You've got a transaction ready to go.
Perfect. It is so convenient that it just kind of does the steps for you. One of my other favorite parts about this actually is probably one of my favorite parts is that in the little notepad right beside, because when you're showing your customer or your client the home, they're going through and telling you things that they like and they don't like. And this is where you can make all those notes. They love the yard, windows might need to be replaced, or kitchen's outdated, or great bathroom, like whatever it is that they love about this property and or don't love about this property, you can make these notes. And in those notes, you can also add the date and the time that you showed the property. So there's some really cool features with that. Also so all you have to do is click right on the property photo and it'll drop down and show you the notes. But you can also go into your notes in your middle column here. You can see the notes that you just made about that property after it loads here in a second. And if you go back to dashboard, there you go. You're also going to see it as recent notes on your dashboard, and it'll also show you the address.
Yeah.
Should we go back to notes and see if that should have populated by now? There we
There
go.
it is.
Might just take a second to populate, but there you go. So it'll show you.
Again, take in mind, abused top producer. I have abused this account. It's time to retire. What do you think, Heather?
Yeah, I wish.
Okay, that tells me I need to retire. Okay.
Someday. All right. So property insights, I think that's just a cool way to stay on top of it, especially if your customer comes back to you, maybe 3 weeks after they saw a house and they kind of want to go back to it again. And you have no idea what that house was that you showed them 3 weeks ago. If you're using this, you will know what house that was. So,
Yeah. And while we're on this page here, I think this would be a great time to answer Joe's question.
yes.
So for sending a market snapshot for a seller, one of the things you're going to do is you're going to click on snapshots, and you can either do it from here or going into marketing and then snapshots. So we're going to use this contact. I'm just going to copy their name and I'm going to go into marketing. We're going to create a snapshot and we're going to hit send snapshot. I'm going to search this customer and they are a seller. You will notice when it first came up and it said buyer, it just needed a first name, email, and zip or postal code. For a seller, you want to have their address. The reason for this is if they're a seller or even if it's after the sale and the person has purchased it, you want to give them a good market analysis, or as we call it, a market snapshot of what's going on in the area based on their property. So you put their address in, we put a pin right on top of that property, and then we'll radiate out from there so that people can see what's going on. The advantage to this, you can have the address here, you can put in a little bit of extra information, and you can also do the search criteria. One thing I always recommend you do, once you've put in the basic information like the first name, email, or the full address or just a zip postal, to come down to the bottom where we have this preview listings button. What this is going to do is it's going to reach out to your MLS, and this is what I was afraid was going to happen. The search criteria for the one that I had in there, there's nothing in the area. So that means nothing is coming up in this area because I have the wrong city. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly change this over to a address that is actually on my MLS.
Yes, it's only going to pull properties from the MLS that you add into your MLS credentials.
Mhm.
And you can search within, now he was showing a postal code in Canada, but you can search within a zip code. You can also search within multiple zip codes. If you are sending this to a seller, you're going to want to search within a limited area because you're showing them properties that are similar to theirs within the area and what they're selling for. So if you go too far away, then the market may not be the same.
Yeah. And that one of the advantages to having it fail like that is it does show you what can happen. If you have way too much criteria and you're trying to dig down way too deeply, that message where it says there's nothing matching can come up. Now that we've changed it over, you can see there's 203 listings. So this property is a 2-bed, 2-bath, and 1,800 square feet. So let's go minimum 1,750. So then we're going to preview again and see what happens. It should go down from the 200 properties we had to a different number. Yeah, see, it knocked out 50. That's the reason why I do the initial preview, just to see how much I have to work with, and then I can get a more detailed view for the client.
And for sellers, usually what I like to do is for the minimum price, put in what the buyer or what the seller actually purchased the house for, depending on how long ago they purchased the house.
Yep.
And then close to what we're going to try and get for them. So probably within there we go. Yeah. And then we can
300,000.
see, yeah, we can kind of see what the, homes in their area that have the 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms are selling for.
Yeah, and you see that drastically dropped the number. So that's what you would do for that, Joe. That way you can keep sending it out. And for a seller, that it right there is your comparables. You're showing them what things are going for because you have the active listings. You have pending saying, hey, this one's actually going, and you can see what it was sold for. And this property right here, it went for 9,000 above asking.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you get a great example of what's going on in the area.
Yeah, so definitely always preview it before sending, make any changes that you need to, especially if you are sending. So the great thing about a market snapshot, you can send to a buyer and a seller.
Yeah.
So for a buyer, you're going to search within their credentials that they're looking for. What area do they want to live in? How many bedrooms? What's their, what were they pre-approved for? What's their max? So give them their listings so they can search within there. The great thing is that you can see their activity. So you can see if they're clicking on the market snapshot. There's lots of great benefits to using this. And then again, like what we just showed you is sending it to a seller, then it shows them, which we're going to show you here in a second, but it shows them what the market looks like, the comparable. So this is where you want to see the activity. When you send it to your customers, you can see if they've opened the email, you can see how many times they have opened it, you can see the reports that they've clicked on. So this is very important information because if you send this to an important customer and you've got nothing across the board and it's all zeros, reach out to them, send them a text, send them a phone call, let them know like, hey, just want to give you a heads up. I sent you a market snapshot report. Have a look at it and let me know what you think. And if they have been clicking on it, then you can call them and say, hey, have you seen anything that you liked? Is there anything you'd like to discuss? It just kind of gives you those talking points. So definitely use that to your advantage. So if you want to see the market report that you just sent to your customer, you can easily see this by clicking on the view report. So this is what the market snapshot shows you. And when I said before, we were going over the settings under the market snapshot settings, and I said to make sure that everything was ticked on, even sending your buyers the solds. And this is why, because the average sold price for this specific area, like what we put in for the credentials, the average sold price is 4%. Now, if you had it ticked off that you were not going to send the solds to your buyers, it would show 0%. So it doesn't look like a healthy market. So you definitely want to keep everything checked on. So again, you have like the average asking price, average sold, how many days on market, home for sales. You can get more details by clicking right on them. So lots of great information. Don't forget that, again, anything you put in the My Information, your marketing goes onto this market snapshot report. You also have the option here between, so say, for example, if you did send it to a buyer, they might not want to have to scroll through 13 solds to find what they're looking for. So they can click on it and eliminate those from their search and just see the ones that are actively for sale. And when they click on any of these homes, it pulls all the information directly from the MLS. So they can see all the photos of the home. They can see the details of the home. If they liked it, you're going to get notified. We'll say that Glenn liked 811 Odell. Awesome.
Cool.
Lots of good information. I always suggest going into your test account. If you've added yourself into your CRM, if you haven't, add yourself, go in and send yourself a market snapshot and just get familiar with it.
Yep. And you will see that all these averages here are, as it says, a 90-day trend, and that is pulled directly from your MLS.
Yes. Yeah, and it's also a 90-day trend based on the information you put into the search. So this is showing you the market based on the area that you chose and or the zip code and the prices and such that you put in. That is where they're getting that information from.
Perfect. We were right on line with the next slide. So
Yeah,
we're getting close to the end. So we do thank you for sticking around for this hour. We're going to try to wrap it up so we don't take up too much more of your time. But we do have this great couple of spots in our system. We have our what's new. So this one was big. This was just recently done, April 30th. We got texting for us here in Canada. We haven't been able to have the texting in the software since the inception until just now because of the different laws between the US and Canada. But for those of you down in the US that have had it for a long time, now you can add texting tasks. So you can set up a text to go out ahead of time. And I do know that one of the first questions that usually gets asked with that is there any type of mass texting? At the moment, no, but we do have this button down in the bottom corner that's called feedback. I like to tell people to click on that and put as much information out there because it goes directly to our leadership team and our developers. And the more information they get told about what people are looking for, the more chance of getting it into the software.
Ooh,
we make the software for you. You may actually know something that we don't know, and it's a great place to get the info from you instead of us just trying to do it ourselves.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I noticed here it says what's coming in future releases. So obviously we can mention it because it's already here in the system and it's an AI author. So this is going to be pretty cool. We're looking forward to seeing what this looks like as well.
I'm looking forward to trying it out and seeing if I can break it, but you're looking to see how it's going to help. I'm going to try to see how to break it so that I can help people avoid breaking it.
I like tools. I like helpful tools. Glenn likes to break everything.
Yes. Destruction good.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, we have what's new coming up and Social Connect. So this is a new lead program that we came out with about a year ago, give or take.
Yep. Well, we're just past the 1-year anniversary.
Just past the year. Yeah. So I'm going to quickly explain how Social Connect works. If you have it or don't have it, maybe it's something you're interested in. And if you have it, then maybe you can get some useful tips from us on how to use it. So Social Connect, just so you know, like almost any lead programs, they're not guaranteed leads. So we help you to bring leads into your CRM. We help you to build your database. Unfortunately, we have no control who clicks on the ads, but I'm going to explain how the ads are created and how it works. So if you sign up for Social Connect, you get to pick 5 cities that you want to target. These are people that live in these cities, and preferably these are also going to be the cities that you're selling in as well. So you're going to pick these 5 cities to target. The people in those cities will see your ads, and it goes based on an algorithm. So people that are already looking at the housing market are going to be the ones that are going to see your ads. So that should help a little bit more as well with these people that could be potential leads. So just like if you're familiar with using Facebook or Instagram, you'll notice that you start searching something on the internet and then a few minutes later you start seeing ads for that. So that's exactly how this works. So they're going to see your ads. Your ads are going to be based on your listings, your active or your sold listings. It's just an ad. It doesn't take them to the listing. When they click on learn more, their information will pop up on the screen with their name, their number, and their email address. So this person that's clicking on your ad, they can close it or they can go next or continue. And then it'll say, great, a local realtor will be in touch with you shortly. They will get an automated email sent to them, automated market snapshot. And then all you have to do as a realtor is reach out and call them and see what they're interested in. So, but just remember, if you do have the system or you're interested in getting the system, they're not guaranteed leads. It could be sellers, could be buyers, could be what I call looky-loos, because I am one of those. Sure, everyone's like grinding their teeth as they hear me say that. And or renters. So again, or just people that are kind of browsing and maybe ready in the near future. So the point is to reach out to them and give them information about the market or see how you can help them and make them an active lead.
And we do have a question about Social Connect from Victor. This is not a free feature. This is actually a paid add-on. If you are interested, Heather and I could get one of our sales reps to reach out to you and give you the overview, the pricing, and see what we can do for you. Again, like Heather said, we take care of the ads, and you're going to get anybody who's looking for anything in housing because of the fact that Facebook and Instagram, where we put them up, have one bucket for that specific field. So anybody who's looking for buy, sell, rent, lease, maybe even possibly land are going to reach out to you. So if you'd like, we'll have a sales rep reach out to you, Victor, and we'll see, maybe they can explain it to you. And we might get to do a concierge with you one day to get it all set up.
Awesome. Honestly, I just think it's a great way just to build your database, to bring more people in. And because once they're in there, they're going to be in there for as long as you would like to keep them. I'll reach out for a rep. Awesome.
Sounds good.
Perfect. All right. So next here we have is put us in your pocket. We're mobile friendly. I kind of added this neat little detail. So this is a screenshot of my phone. You can add top producers to your phone. And I think this is very important because when you're out showing those houses in person, you want to be making your notes at that time about what your customer liked and didn't like about that property. So log in here and be making those notes while you're at the property. It just makes it so much easier. And you don't have to worry about it later on. So to do this, if you're using an Android, I use an Android, you're going to go to any browser. I use Chrome. I use Google Chrome. You can use, what is it? Edge.
Yep.
Firefox, whatever you choose to use. You can use that. You're going to go to crm.topproducer.com. And this is where you're going to see the sign in page. And the very top, actually, I'm going to annotate here. Where's my annotation?
You break things, Heather.
I like to break things. So this very top right-hand corner where you get the 3 little dots coming down, you're going to click here and then you're going to click on add to home screen. It's that easy. And then instead of having to search this every time, it's just on your home screen. It looks like an ad or sorry, an app. It looks like an app. So you click there and it just opens up. It's mobile friendly. So what it is that it's still the website, but it just condenses it. So it's easier to use and you can see it all on your screen. You can use this on your cell phone. You can use this on your tablet, on your laptop, PC, TV if you want to. You can really use this anywhere. And Glenn will kindly explain how to use it on an Apple phone.
Yes. So with the iPhone, you do have to go through Safari because of the fact that Apple has that closed ecosystem. But what you do is you open up Safari and you go to crm.topproducer.com and log in. Once you get there, you log in using your username and password. And if it's your first time doing this, it should pop up and ask if you'd like a home screen icon. If for some reason it doesn't pop up and ask that, just look at the very bottom of the browser window and you're going to see a box with an arrow pointing up. Click on that and then scroll through the options that it gives you, and one of them will say add to home screen. Then you name it and then just click add and you are ready to go. Simple, easy, and effective.
Awesome. Love it. All right. And so when we're not here, we have tons of resources available. We went over some of them. So we have support.topproducer.com, which you can reach us on our chat. You can sign up for other webinars. We usually have this about once a week right now for this month, and maybe continuing in the future, we might have them once a week or bi-weekly. We'll see. We also have tons of videos already pre-recorded for you. We have our top producer blog, so topproducer.com/blog. We have our YouTube, top producer software, and we have our Facebook group. So there's all kinds of resources and information that you can get available. And again, our live chat in the bottom right corner. If you're chatting with us and you're not getting your answer or your questions answered and you're having a hard time getting things across, just let us know in the chat and we will reach out to you. It's at the next available convenience. Sometimes it could take up to 24, 48 hours to get a phone call back, but we will call you back. However, if you just, again, have a quick question, our chat is the quickest way to get an answer met for you.
Yeah, and with that, the team that does the callbacks, they are a little bit behind right at the moment, so it could be 48 to, I guess, 72 hours. So do try to work with our chat team. They're very highly trained and highly skilled. They know what's going on, and they will do everything they can to work with you. I know it may not be the perfect way, but honestly, it does allow you to also take a copy of the chat so you can have those technical steps for future if you need. So the other last thing, Heather and I, as we mentioned, are part of what we call our onboard concierge team. That means if you do have specific training you want, you can go to topproducer.com/onboarding and you could actually purchase a onboarding package. You'd get to hang out with either her or me or one of our other two reps, Jordan and Evan, and we'll get you through to the best uses of the software and make sure that you're flying through it like a professional.
Well said.
I do try. I do impressive every now and then.
Awesome. So if you don't have any further questions, that's a wrap. And like it says here, keep using your CRM daily. Honestly, you can watch us 100 times, but the best way you're going to learn this is just getting in there and using it every day, even if it's every other day. I always like to say, like, kind of make it a habit. So if you're currently working with a customer right now and you're on the phone with them or you just sent them a text or whatever the case may be, get in there and just leave those notes with the customer that you're currently working with. That's the best way to just kind of get started, making it a habit.
Yep. And again, we do thank you for your patience while we had a little bit of a technical hiccup there. Got that all taken care of. So one last thing I always have to say for our YouTube friends, all names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. No identification with actual persons, living or deceased, places, and buildings is intended or should be inferred. That's just hoping that we don't get a strike from the YouTube overlords. We thank you for coming. Again, appreciate the understanding of the technical issues. We are here. We're going to be doing another couple of these before the end of May, and then June we may go back to our bi-weekly schedule. But we're here to help, and so is our chat. Talk to them. 100% homegrown humans, and they love to help.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Everybody have a great one. Thanks again, and you take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.